talking about Hanamitis. Let's just go for a heal set.
It's more like...
I'm talking about Hanamitis. Let's just go for a heal set.
It's more like...
But it's going to cost him a Poison Nova. The
Radiant's bottom tower seem better
Nightfall's going to get RP'd in turn. Cuckoo finds that kill himself, so it's a 1-for-1 with Save being the second now in favor of T1.
Trouble brewing
Really good
Radiant's
turnaround
bottom tower.
with these TPs.
I'm realizing that this was a really great Venom pick for more reasons than just
Dire's
the fact
mid
that
towers
it counters
having
TA.
technical
Of course, you also
difficulties.
have the Kunkka, which the Veno counters because the boat wears off eventually, and then all of the Veno dots will kill the target. But also, if you Doom Veno and he gets all of his abilities off, the Doom was wasted. So it seems really good to just put the Veno in front and have him be the Doom target.
The Dire best do something
Global
about that
Silence was
bottom
used in that
tower.
fight, which to go back and see if that was actually a little bit too early or not. But I mean, T1 ends up on top in terms of the fights there overall. But still, very even game as expected between these two juggernaut teams. I mean, I was picking, I know this is a little biased because we just watched the animated and whatnot, but top 4 teams in the world, these two would be in them. And VP is the only one that's like the question mark just because of the LAN performances.
Yeah, I agree.
But when you see them play online, it's just night and day from what we saw at the major itself.
There seems to be a correlation between teams that
Dire's
have a lot
top
of fun,
towers. You know
that are
the
high rank, and winning. People that have fun.
Radiant's bottom
That's
tower
not
ain't a
always
pretty
true.
sight right now.
I mean, EG at TI5, that was
The
a
Dire
miserable
might want to climb the top tower.
That's true. I can confirm that.
I think everybody can confirm that's pretty obvious from afar. As Zephyr still in the trees here, Save trying to wrap around. Yep, there we
Dire's
go. The
top
Hex.
tower. You
First
know
spike
the
to fall
drill.
with the urn. And the Shark is coming. This will be an eventual kill on the Zephyr again. He's been
Dire's
kind of doing
lost
this
the
thing
top tower.
on the Winter Wyvern, just trying to create space. You talked about the idea of just hanging around in the trees, delaying the push, and
Classic Zephyr.
that's what he's doing.
Radiant's
He
bottom
expects this sort
tower
of thing
seen
at that
better
point, and I
days.
think T1 does as well. It's something you have to do if you're VP.
Can't do nothing about
You
Dire's
can't
structures
let a
right
support sit there
now.
and counter push
Trouble
and delay.
brewing
They're
at Radiant's
basically
bottom
putting
tower.
the onus on
Dire's
you to
top
dive them
tower's
to get
getting
that
beat
tower.
down.
VP, they do it.
As
Radiant's
DM looks
gone
to be
and fortified their
I thought he was
structures.
finishing the
Radiant's
Spear Vessel.
bottom
Maybe it's on the way
tower
right now,
seen
but either
better
way, he's going
days.
for the pipe next. Maybe the Spear Vessel's...
Yeah, there it is.
Okay, yeah, figured that much.
Casual hood against the Veno. This
Radiant's
does make
bottom
sense.
tower
It's
ain't a
one of
pretty
those things
sight
that
right now.
just the healing over time as well as the max resistance is enough.
Radiant lost one of them bottom
Through all the
towers.
Veno spells.
Yeah, I
Radiant's
just hope to
mid
God that
tower's
he
coming
goes
apart.
again
Your
for that
attendance.
shard, because that's going to be very, very GPK. Well, so much damage right here. See the X marks into the torrent. That's going to be a freebie onto Whitemon as we have mass disconnections in the middle of the fight.
You
don't have
Not
the
good timing at all.
Then again, I suppose they're global, so it's not like they could have pressed spells.
This is true.
Veno does have a Yules.
Yeah, we can see that the Doom is applied right now to Cuckoo on the Magnus. So he's probably going to die here as well. And the Global Silence, it's almost done though, so we'll see if Venomancer can do it. I mean, they do have the Yules, so that takes off the Global. Although at this point, it's no point in
All right.
Yeah, this is going to be a freebie with the Finger of Death charge. Double
Two
kill for
down.
DM, and we'll see if they can turn this into a rush potentially. Deso now onto GPK. This is 5v3 situation. I mean, this is the beauty of having a Venomancer. You can always put these wards to at least get some vision in the pit. X marks onto Carl, though. Of course, VP know they have the numbers advantage right here. Nice Yule dodging a little bit there, but the boat is coming. Will connect. The follow.
The pain.
Yep. Nightfall jumps in, takes the Poison Nova. Just to him. He's going to try to TP out, but there's the curse to cancel it. And another
Oh, no.
pause. Okay.
That's just a BM pause on Nightfall.
Straight to the bottom with you.
Night.
It seems to be a very common trend this game to have a double pause. The Discord is always the second one, right?
GPK was side-blading off of Plague Wards to get that kill. That was one of
that's
those
nice.
very strange long-range poke kills on the Venomancer where if they commit to that, maybe they just die to the Wyvern curse. So they had to do that from long range with like 3 different random abilities. X, of course, probably the easiest thing to hit from long range.
I think they're ready to go. And Nightfall's in a lot of trouble here. He's getting beat on by his friend.
Where are you going?
Of course, that poison is still applied. Oh, he's going to tick out. I guess that with the poison sting on top of it. As Zephyr now getting chased. Look at the damage. Trying to get the side blades, but not going to be in range here. And T1 still delaying pretty successfully. Now with Nightfall down.
Come on,
See if
sprites.
VP actually want to continue on here. X marks onto Whitemon, but yeah, no follow-up here. So T1 successfully defend Roche. Did cost them a couple lives, but they'll take it.
The Spear Vessel on DM is a real
Radiant's
problem
bottom
for
tower
T1 right
seen
now.
better
They can't just
days.
run a hero in and save them with the Winter Wyvern, which is what most people have been doing to start their fights. They can't even run Whitemon in on Enchantress. You can
Trouble
see
brewing
how
at
little the
Radiant's
healing did
bottom
there.
tower.
And if any other damage sources come out, I think Whitemon just dies. He's so squishy at this point, other than the heal.
Save has a blink, by the way. 18-minute blink on Lion. That seems pretty fast.
Yeah, that's very fast.
Go to next. So they're going to have that blink hex. I mean, they have pretty good initiation overall, and obviously really good catch. And that's on top of the global silence potential, which we've seen a couple times, but maybe hasn't had the biggest impact yet. But still pretty early on.
The global?
Yeah.
It's hard to see the impact of it.
That's what I'm saying. It's difficult to see.
Because nothing happens, literally.
There's no sound either. You know?
That's true. You can't hear the
silences
impact
everybody.
of it.
Yeah, as we can see, the
Radiant's
typical
mid tower's
build
coming
here
apart.
from Zephyr.
Dire's top tower's
As
getting
that Holy
beat
Locket,
down.
we'll be getting the Cold Embrace heal at level 10 in all likelihood.
Radiant's
Nice
mid
extra gold from this
tower's getting
Philosopher's
banged
Stone
up.
as well.
23
Here,
for
that
that DK.
continues not to get banned.
Yes.
Radiant's
Tower
mid
giving
tower's
up here. Looks like Torrent's gonna connect,
Radiant's
but
mid
no follow-up.
tower ain't doing so good.
T1. The RP gonna catch DM, skewers into the other side here. Gonna get Gale on top of that, and it looks like VP just wanna let him go. Comes out, but not a whole lot
Bottom
of
tower's
damage done
getting the
here.
business.
T1 get the free pickoff. Well, free. Nothing's free in life, Jenkins. I don't know if anybody ever told you that, but
I've never heard that
it
before.
costs a Magnus ult.
Yeah.
There's always a cost.
It's always Lacoste.
That's right.
He is at every event. That's
Yeah.
maybe it was
Warranted,
Lacoste.
though.
Somebody was mentioning on the panel that Magnus is a counter to these disengage spell or these kind of big team fight ultis and these disengage spells because you skewer people so far away that nothing can be pressed on the person that gets gone on. And it's cool. We see it there. The RP into skewer out. It's like even if VP was in position, they can't save the skewer target. It's too far away. Their formation is broken immediately by that. These repositioning abilities have been so strong for
Dire's
this reason
top
in the past. And
tower,
it's exactly
you
my
know the
punch.
drill.
It's really strong right now.
Wow, I was wondering where you were going for that, so I appreciate that very much.
I'm just kidding. Please, IceFrog, buff my boy.
He's never going to get buffed again. But no, that's very true. I mean, the one thing is if there was global silence, you can't do that, right? Once the RP is off, you're just going to get global silence and you can't skewer anymore. But of course, they are itemizing to a degree. He's building a Yule's right now, which obviously not the most common item to find on the Magnus. But the Dispel is going to be ultra important here.
Carl's going for Greaves as well, so we're gonna have two types of Dispel on him. And the Greaves feels a lot better because you don't have to sit for 2.5 seconds doing nothing, which effectively is a disable whenever he globals. And that's exactly what you want. You use that to disable people. But going for the Yules first just because it's cheaper and guaranteeing that there's going to be something to take that off and then doubling back with the Greaves.
It's definitely a good choice. But still kind of a farm game right now. A ton of action. The first rush was semi-attempted at first, and then it kind of got broken up with a couple kills on each respective side. I mean, who does this current pace of the game benefit the most, you think? Because there's Doom on one side, and then there's PA with the Empower on the other.
T1, I think that he's probably going to, on 23 Savage, eventually get a Rapier, and with that timing, there is going to be very little that VP can do other
Got a
than...
4-man smoke, a 3-man smoke here
Radiant's
from VP.
mid tower getting
This Roshan, DM's getting caught out for now. Spear Vessel's applied to him. As the X. Oh, the instant Hex on a Cuckoo. Very nicely done as Whitemon's taking a ton of damage from afar. DK doing work. Nightfall jumps in. You can see the global silence into the Doom, onto the Magnus. And that is going to be the first kill in this fight for VP. A big, big one. He does have buyback, though. So if they overextend, he definitely get back into this fight.
trap is just out of range of this sentry ward. So T1 doesn't realize, but VP, they know the exact status of Roshan as that's happening. There's no way they can get that. Exactly what VP is smoking.
Yeah, they have smoke. Of course, Global Silence and Doom are down, but they know that Magnus is dead for another 15 seconds, so perhaps they can get a pick off before he respawns. 23 Savage. Zephyr, yeah, the instant hex into the disable. The double stun. He actually jumps into it with the PA. 23 Savage off the BKB, though, and blows up save with the coup de grace.
My
He's
sprites
getting
are
pounded in by TA. Jumps on the other side. We see a Winter Surge in the fight, so 23 Savage can actually get some damage here. Poison note from Carl onto DM, who's now in the trees here, completely surrounded by the PA, getting pounded. A nice double, but there's the skew into the double RT from Cuckoo. Shockwave the ball. Double kill on 23 Savage as T1 is masterful in these fights. Savage might finally tick down, costing the entirety of VP. And Roche is still at half HP, and despite not having the PA, see if they can finish it off themselves or have to wait for
Radiant's top tower's in bad shape.
Bit of a false sense of security there from VP, having that information in the pit, knowing that they can do a smoke wraparound there, picking off Zephyr, but he has buyback, and then they're fighting right into that T1 ward, which lets 23
Radiant's mid
kind of
tower's
juke around
getting
this fight,
banged
even
up.
at low HP. They could never get him.
That was a nice impale.
It was a really great start, but the insta-burst, as well as the BKB,
Radiant's mid tower's
does
coming
not have
apart.
any evasion piercing right now, so...
Yeah, 23 Savage did such a good job of kind of going in and out and just being an annoying presence.
I like that he jumped to Carl as
Radiant's
well, using
top
Carl as
tower's
kind of a
hurting.
backbone for this fight, where it's like, you know what? Oh, you're going to kill me, you're going to take all of Venomancer's spells as well. And then all of this just sets up, because they're so desperate to kill 23 for the beautiful two-man RP from Cuckoo.
Radiant's
T1,
top tower's in bad
for once,
shape.
they're not
They look,
jovial.
They look
They're very serious, yeah.
That makes me a little worried for them.
They're taking this very seriously.
Radiant's top
Grand finals
tower's
after all.
taking hits.
All right, so they didn't wait, or they did wait for the PA. I guess they just have no damage, really, from Roche's perspective, despite it being at half HP. So now they're going to be in there.
Bro, this trap is still a real problem. It's right outside of 2 sentry wards.
Yeah. All right, well, the Torrent's going to connect on the Centaur as this is a very
Radiant's
slow
mid
Roche
tower's getting
without
banged up.
23 Savage there, which again, like you said, the information's already there for VP. The status.
They don't need to rush anything because of the trap. This is so inconvenient. I don't think it's really cool positioning from the trap. I mean, usually the sentry ward's a little bit closer to the pit, but because supports obviously don't want to get caught out of position, they just kind of put it as close as they can get.
Oh
safe.
my goodness. All right, we have an Aghanim Scepter on 23 Savage, by the way.
Yeah, the usual build.
That's
for
awesome.
The
You can
usual build
take
for
off
this?
silence.
Well, that take off silence.
Skewer back in, but the global silence to follow. 23 Savage jumps in. GPK is BKB though, so not a lot of damage done in the end. We see the tidal wave coming out as well. Our Spike's going to connect only onto one, and that'll force that GPK healthy. Shockwave is there as well. Nice.
The
Actually
Dyer's
pops his
courier took a
BKB
trip
here.
to the old family
No death
farm.
somehow.
Come get healed.
You back so soon.
Break the fight up here. The Torrent will connect. I mean, it's a basic dispel, but I guess you can't cast it if you're global silence.
It is a spell.
You have to get satanic for that, I guess, yeah. But that is such a cool act. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But I feel like this is very important, Roche, that both teams have spent so many resources trying to defend. Of course, T1 going back and forth. They still have not gotten this trap.
If only they knew that trap was there, VP would be so much more worried about Roshan because they wouldn't know the status of it. They
Right.
have to go fight. But they know that if Roche is standing
Guess
on that
what's
trap,
happening
the
to
T1's not
Dyer's
taking
bottom
it.
tower?
Yeah, tidal wave.
Damage.
23 Savage with the double damage now. That is pretty big.
Pretty damn to the Aghanim Scepter.
Absolutely.
Insta burst.
There's no global silence for a bit here. So T1 should feel relatively safe. Another 45 seconds for that to come up. Tidal wave again coming. This is such an annoying spell. Of course, Boat has such a low cooldown. It can spend that basically any point. Start things out. And there's the BKB jumping from 23 Savage. The death of Kingslayer flies back into the game, though. And now the Boat coming in. Look at these side blades from GPK off of the Plague Wards. Like you said earlier, they might be able to steal this. GPK now in the pit. Whitemon trying to get in there as well. Cuckoo misses the steal. Bullshit is snatched. GPK takes it for himself. 23 Savage now trying to get out. Gets Doom, but it's a Lotus Orb Doom. So there's 2 targets that can't do anything now. Golden Brace applied to 23 Savage. Now the curse applied as well as TH's. That's going to be a dieback onto Kingslayer. Now the chase is onto 23 Savage, but the Doom has finally run out. And now he's going to jump in and absolutely blow up everybody. GPK does get up to refraction. Finally, the Aegis is popped. Nightfall in the triangle, looks like it's going to be 5, but GPK is completely surrounded. Double kill for 23 Savage. So VP get the Aegis. T1 gets the Roche technically, and it was only Roche number 1.
I love watching these two teams team fight.
It's crazy.
There's so much going on between the tidal waves, GPK hitting the flag wards, getting the pure damage, the Lotus Orb, the backline protection coming from T1. 23 Savage constantly playing on low HP. Can he actually get him? He's constantly playing on low HP. He's doomed, but he's playing around his team. The Greaves are keeping him alive.
You're a trusty mate.
So
Look at these side blades, dude. Oh my god. That must have been like max range.
3 is, and he still did so much in this fight.
Yeah. Radiant's mid tower could use a hand.
That does help a lot. Yes, that does help. Look at the tidal wave onto the high.
Yeah, actually pushed 23 Savage out of the pit.
It separates him, but then the Lotus Orb Doom.
Yeah.
Cuckoo's in position, and then everybody's playing the high ground on T1. They know if they just frontline with these two tanky heroes.
This Golden Brace is so stupid. He's literally unkillable.
Radiant's bottom tower in a pretty side right now.
Yeah, I don't know,
Radiant
man.
structures
That pretty
fortified
right now. But either way, like the execution from both
Radiant's
sides
bottom
is so
tower has
crisp.
seen better days.
Really a joy to watch both of these teams play.
It's gonna be so
top
frustrating
tower.
for either side
You know the
to
drill.
lose a team fight. It's like, what else could we have
There
pressed?
goes
And I
Radiant's
look at
bottom
this team
tower.
as a Dota player, and I think, I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay, well, 23 Savage, yeah, he's finding Kingslayer outside the Roche pit. You can see saves in there as well. Blinks out the save 3 after the Earthspike comes out.
That's
Kingslayer
4
looks to be mega dead.
Radiant's bottom tower in
Okay,
a
so let's
pretty
talk about
side
this
right
Agnum
now.
Scepter. Well, first, Doom got an Ags himself. This is a really early one, so this will apply the break, which is huge
Radiant's
against
mid
PA.
tower could use a hand.
And it also lasts for 6 seconds longer for the Doom. So if you get that, you win the fight pretty much every time, I feel like.
Radiant's mid
disables
tower's coming
the
apart.
coup de grace as well, actually. So you're even right-clicking. Like typically, if you're one of
Dire
these
might
heroes that
wanna
gets Doom, you
mine
can
that
still
top
right-click to some
tower.
degree. But PA
Radiant's
literally
mid
useless now.
tower's in trouble.
That's a really good pickup.
The interesting thing about this Agnum Scepter,
Dire's
the
top
23
tower,
is
you know
if
the
he
drill.
gets jumped by Doom, he's got that little bit of fade time where he can disjoint as Doom is casting it, and then he can blink away. So instead of going for something along the lines of a Lincoln Sphere, he's trusting that, oh, speaking of the Doom,
The Dire best do something
No
about
vision.
that bottom tower. No breaking through the
Nightfall.
Dire
They briefly
structures
saw
for
him.
now.
but it's a cool concept to...
Yeah,
kind
so
of
basically, Blur has a much lower cooldown. You can instantly cast it. It'll give you a basic dispel, but of course you can't use it.
5 seconds of Vanish, which is enough to cast the Phantom Strike away, and enough for Cuckoo to also put the Lotus Orb on.
And then kind of the, well, I was going to say coup de grace, but that's
Come get
Oh, we're
healed.
going to have to hold on to that thought here. Okay, will connect on the Nightfall. Has to pop his BKB pretty early. Ooh, Lotus Orb pumps the Doom, but there's the Winter's Curse. GPK hitting the absolute crap again out of him. There's no signs to fall. Nightfall can't get off his Doom in time. Ends up dropping, but there's the RP. It's only going to connect on to one, though. It's Kingslayer getting chased by 23 Savage, who now wants to focus on GPK with the Spirit Vessel applied right now. Arctic Burn as well, so no refraction for you. GPK gets Yules right outside his base. It looks like he's going to be brought down in the end. Triple kill for 23 Savage. He has
Radiant's
entered
mid tower's
beast mode.
getting
And they
backed up.
played that
My
against the Doom.
hand is an honor.
GG is called.
Heal us.
Wow. Awesome.
Someone's dropped out like a kid in
T1's
school.
looking mega scary,
Radiant's
dude.
mid tower jumping out for the
Yeah.
Dire.
It's crazy to see on one side the team fight execution. I've just never seen two teams team fight like this before.
Yeah. It feels like it's scattered to a degree, but kind of on purpose. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, well,
they're having their own separate fights sometimes, but yeah,
I don't
this
remember
is
who it
masterful.
was during the major, but they described it like kind of a dance that's happening where you have the, you know,
A do-si-do?
certain people going in that they're trying to bait spells on. You have the supports in